Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6 at noon.
Now at noon, Orlando International Airport among the dozens of major airports that will cut back on flights. How this could impact your travels. Plus, an NBA head coach's home goes up in flames. The incredible video here and what we're learning from investigators. First, though, the estranged wife of suspended Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez was back in front of a judge. Robin Severance Lopez here is facing charges tied to an illegal gambling operation that's alleged. As News 6's Mark Lehman tells us, there is a new delay in the case.
Before the hearing at the Lake County Courthouse, the case against Robin Severance Lopez was expected to go to trial next week, but now that's been pushed back about a month. Today, we got to talk to her defense attorney about that and about a possible plea deal that was rejected. Robin Severance Lopez was wearing shackles as she faced a judge Thursday morning. With her trial previously set for Monday, the defense asked for more time. That's so they can go through new evidence announced by the state.
Body-worn camera, jail calls, a half of a terabyte phone extraction, just a ton of discovery, most of which arrived yesterday afternoon.
Attorney Michelle Yard said while the judge granted a continuance, Severance Lopez doesn't want to waive her right to a speedy trial. That's in contrast to the approach of her estranged husband, suspended Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez. Both are facing conspiracy to commit racketeering charges in connection to an alleged illegal gambling operation.
She's facing up to 30 years by going to trial. She's also being held on no bond right now.
Severance Lopez was rearrested in October after she was accused of lying on an application to modify her bail conditions. During Thursday's hearing, we learned the defense rejected a plea deal that would have given her 24 months probation.
The state is proposing that she plea and become a convicted felon, and we just both feel like that's inappropriate given the facts here.
Yard saying her client is prepared to take her chances at trial, which has now been scheduled for December 8th.
They, in my opinion, simply don't have a strong case against her, and there's no reason she should live out the rest of her life as a convicted felon.
In Lake County, Mark Lehman, News 6.
Turning to your weather now as we take a live look outside. Daytona Beach looking pretty good out there. High tide moving in, no doubt. Let's get a check of that forecast, though, with meteorologist Julie Broughton. She's in for Candace. A little bit of an interesting look out there throughout the morning, Julie. I mean, just a little cloud coverage.
Yeah, a lot more cloud cover than we've seen the last few days. The last couple of days, we have enjoyed that beautiful, just nearly crystal clear blue sky. Today, we have some more moisture moving in, and that's even producing a few isolated sprinkles out there across parts of Osceola County. Our Light Orlando delivering Hope Together camera over downtown Orlando, showing some upper level clouds there, a little bit of blue sky. We're sitting at 75 degrees right now with winds coming in out of the northeast. And we'll go into the low 80s once again today, which is right on target for where we should be. 75 in Ocala. It is 73 in Wildwood, Micco, and Melbourne. You are sitting at 74 degrees. Now we're going to see temperatures this weekend actually warmer than normal in the mid 80s, but look what happens next week. We are talking about temperatures below normal thanks to a strong cold front just about every day next week. And that means look at these morning lows. When you wake up on Tuesday morning in Orlando, we're talking about mid 40s. So if you are northwest of I-4, areas like Ocala, the Villages, Wildwood, Lady Lake, you could be in the 30s on Tuesday morning. We'll break it all down for you and take a look ahead to the next 7 days. Justin, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Julie. In Brevard County, a 15-year-old is facing charges accused of kicking a teacher and then trying to take a deputy's gun. This all happened at the Gardendale Separate Day School. That's in Merritt Island. Now, we are not naming the teen because of his age. The Brevard County Sheriff's Office says the student first got into a fight with the teacher before attacking them. A deputy then stepped in to help, and that's when Sheriff's Office says that the teen went after the gun. The 15-year-old was taken into custody. The teen is facing multiple charges, including criminal mischief, battery on a teacher, and battery on a law enforcement officer. In South Florida, the home of Miami Heat's head coach Eric Spoelstra caught fire this morning. Miami-Dade Fire Rescue says firefighters responded to the home around 4:30 this morning, and the fire was so intense, as you can see, it took them 4 hours to fully put out the flames. Now, no injuries have been reported, but as you can see here, the home appears to be just a total loss. CBS News Miami has reached out to the Heat for comment on this. No word at this point. Spoelstra has been with the organization since 1995, and he's been the head coach since 2008, winning 2 championships. Orange County Mayor Jerry Dimmings has his eyes set on Tallahassee. He filed to run for governor last week, and today he is scheduled to hold a rally. But does he have a fighting chance in a state that hasn't had a Democrat in the governor's mansion in the 21st century? News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez spoke with a political expert about the mayor's uphill battle.
While Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings is known here in Central Florida, he now has to convince the entire state he's the right person for the job. And if he can do that, he'd be the first Democratic governor Florida has seen in the 21st century.
Do you think he has the name recognition to do it? I mean, we know who he is here in Orange County.
Yeah, it's a difficult uphill battle for Demings.
UCF political science professor John Hanley thinks getting Jerry Demings to Tallahassee won't be easy, despite his credentials as the former Orange County sheriff, county director of public safety, and his 2 terms as mayor.
He's kind of in the wrong party in the wrong state. I think in another state, in a different political landscape, he would be someone who would be, top contender and would probably already hold statewide office. But in Florida, it's just become so difficult for someone with that D next to their name to make it very far.
Demings joins ex-GOP Congressman David Jolly on the Democratic ticket. We spoke to Jolly in June about running as a Democrat.
My job is to convince this coalition to vote maybe differently than you have reflexively done in the past.
Running on the Republican side are former Florida House Speaker Paul Renner and Trump-backed U.S. Rep Byron Donalds. Current Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins is considering joining in. Despite the wins for Democrats across the U.S. this week, Hanley believes the party likely won't focus its efforts here.
The state has shifted in a way that makes other states more competitive and more desirable for the Democrats relative to Florida.
Another point Hanley made is that Demings' wife, Val Demings, struggled in her campaign against Marco Rubio for U.S. Senate back in 2022. And it's a story he says could repeat itself with the mayor. That rally is happening tonight here at the Rosen Center on I Drive. Reporting in Orange County, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Leaders in Daytona Beach have approved extending unarmed security patrols in some of the most popular parts of the city. And now other areas are also being considered in that program. Now, the commission voted unanimously on that measure last night. The move increases funding for unarmed patrols throughout the CRA district. That includes Main and Beach Streets. Neighbors say they're grateful for the security, but during last night's meeting, some said that they'd like the patrols to reach other parts of the city as well.
I approve of this, but I ask, why don't we have it for Beachside? Beachside is the area in which we've had shootings. Beachside is the area in which we've had people killed, and yet we don't seem to care.
Now, commissioners discussed expanding to Beachside, but they tabled that decision until consulting with law enforcement. The FAA says the ongoing government shutdown is forcing it to cut thousands of flights, with stress building on unpaid air traffic controllers. The agency says large volume airports, including Orlando International Airport, will see a drop in air travel starting tomorrow. CBS's Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
Travelers at airports nationwide are bracing for cancellations a day after the FAA announced it will take the unprecedented step of cutting 10% of flights at 40 high-volume airports.
As far as like the cancellations and stuff, I just hope I make it home.
As a traveler, it's very inconvenient for me, but I mean, if you're not paying people right, I completely understand. If I'm not getting paid right for my services, I wouldn't work either.
The nation's busiest travel hubs are among those expected to be impacted, including Atlanta, Chicago, Denver, Dallas, Los Angeles, and New York. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy calls the cuts necessary to reduce stress on air traffic controllers who have been working without pay since last month.
Some of them are not coming to work. It's a problem. I want them to come to work and do their jobs, but that's the reality that I deal with. And so you've seen a lot of delays and cancellations through the airspace. Taking 10% of the flights out will reduce that pressure.
President Trump is calling on Senate Republicans to get rid of the filibuster in order to end the shutdown. That would allow the Senate to pass legislation with just a simple majority.
It's the only way you can do it. And if you don't terminate the filibuster, you'll be in bad shape. We won't pass any legislation.
Senate Republican leaders have opposed that move. Rank and file members are divided on the issue as the shutdown impacts grow.
Right now, let's put people back to work and let's start feeding people who are literally going hungry.
Earlier this week, some lawmakers expressed optimism about a deal starting to emerge that would fund the government in exchange for a vote on extending the enhanced health care tax credits Democrats have demanded. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
And travelers will likely see cancellations and delays as that shutdown lingers. This morning, we were at Orlando International Airport where travelers were sharing their frustrations.
I mean, it's just going to make traveling so much harder for people, especially in, going into the holiday season. I feel bad for everyone that wants to go see their families at this time.
Well, airlines are scrambling to make plans for tomorrow when these cancellations take effect. And keep in mind, Thanksgiving just 3 weeks away with a record 31 million people expected to fly. Yours truly included in that. Well, help is here for people in Volusia County who are struggling to put food on the table. Coming up, how much demand a local food bank is expecting and how Volusia County is investing to keep up. We leave you with a live look outside from our Mount Dora camera. You're watching News 6 at noon. We'll be right back.
Introducing the new $25 million Gold Rush Multiplier Scratch-Off from the Florida Lottery.
Some new help for people struggling to put food on the table in Volusia County. A special giveaway is being held right now. And between the government shutdown, recent flooding, and the economy in general, leaders at Second Harvest Food Bank told your Volusia County community correspondent Angie Casada turnout is expected to be big.
Between the government shutdown, recent flooding, and the overall economy in general, leaders at Second Harvest tell me turnout is expected to be big.
Week over week, we're seeing a 300% increase in families seeking assistance. I was speaking with pantries yesterday about what they're seeing, and their appointments are booked up beyond what they've ever seen.
To keep up, Volusia County is investing $250,000 in federal disaster recovery funds to boost food access countywide. $125,000 is supporting large distribution events with Second Harvest, including Thursday's giveaway in Daytona Beach. The other $125,000 is stocking local food pantries and churches so families can get help closer to home.
Well, I think with, not just the county, but municipalities, everybody, the general community, everybody's trying to come together, do what we can to, address food insecurity.
Thursday's drive-through distribution runs from noon to 3 at Hope Place on Wright Street. It's open to Volusia County residents. No income requirements, just bring a county ID. And today's event isn't the only help that's available. A special food drive is happening this weekend, specifically for people who haven't gotten their SNAP benefits. That's going to be including a big donation event on Saturday at the entrance to the Daytona International Speedway. Then on Sunday, there will be a food distribution event at that same location. I'm your Volusia County community correspondent, Angie Casava, News 6.
All right, let's get back to the weather now as we take a live look. Nice seagull or pelican right there overlooking the port cam at Port Canaveral. Nice cruise ship off in the distance as well. Meteorologist Julie Broughton is in for Candace. Really comfortable air again here in Central Florida, Jules.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice to just hop on that cruise ship and
it would be nice.
Sail away? That'd be so nice. Here's what you need to know as we are heading through your work week and into the weekend today. As Justin said, really comfortable. We'll be right in the normal range today, but we're tracking a lot of changes through the next several days, including a big warm up this weekend. Will actually be in the mid 80s. So the normal high this time of year is around 80. We're going well above that. But then by next week, we are watching a big blast of cold air that right now is still well off to our north and west with this front. But this front comes through on Sunday into Monday. And behind that, we are talking about the coldest air of the season so far. Here's how that looks in the upper level setup. So when we're talking about the jet stream, that separates the cold air to the north from the warm air to the south. So by Tuesday, notice you'll see those blues getting closer to our area. Some of you will wake up in the 30s on Tuesday morning. In Orlando, we're looking at a morning low Tuesday right in the mid 40s. But when you factor in the wind, here's how it will feel. Some of you could feel like the 20s when you wake up on your Veterans Day. 28 is how it will feel in Ocala. 31 in the Villages, but we're not quite there yet. Really nice day for our Thursday, although if you've been outside, you've probably noticed we're seeing a little bit more cloud cover than we have the last few days. This is our sky cam in Daytona Beach. You can see that cloud cover there hanging out, 76 degrees. Winds are coming in out of the northeast at 5 miles per hour, and we are keeping a few sprinkles in the forecast. Even today, we've already seen a few of those very light showers in areas like Osceola County. Now, if you're in Salt Springs, you're at 76, 75 in Ocala, 75 in McIntosh. Taking you down to Montverde, you're at 73 degrees, 76 in Wedgefield, and 75 degrees right now in Chuliota. If you're in areas like Poinciana, you're at 74 degrees, and it is 73 for those of you in Hullapaw. Now, here's your hour-by-hour forecast so you can plan your day.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency, you ought to call Strata.
So these guys are twins, Blizzard and Biscuit. So they were watching this morning and sent in their picture, and I think it's so cute. So thank you so much. Go to clickorlando.com/pin so you can share your pet photos with us. We're talking about low 80s at 3 o'clock. Rain chances today are around 10% or less. So most of us stay dry for most of the day. Then as we get into the evening hours, we'll bump that rain chance up to about 20%, all thanks to our moisture levels beginning to come up. This is the water vapor imagery. It shows us how things look in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere regarding moisture levels. So we have that very dry air mass in place that is being eroded. As you can see, some of that moisture moving in from the Gulf, a little bit of upper level energy, providing just a few of those showers. Your clouds and rain forecast notice at 8 o'clock southern counties. You could see a few of those showers. Then taking into the overnight hours, I think we'll be mostly dry overnight, but then for our Friday, again, we'll squeeze out a few isolated showers moving into our weekend. And quick check of the tropics, nothing to track there. Hurricane season officially wraps up for us, thank goodness, at the end of this month. Here's how it looks for you as we roll you through your next 7 days. Again, something for everyone. 86 for your high Saturday and Sunday. Then that front comes through Sunday into Monday. 71 on Monday, but then we start Veterans Day at 45 in Orlando and warm only to 65 before we go back into the 70s by Wednesday.
All right, thank you, Julie. Listen up if you have a Toyota. More than 1 million vehicles are being recalled over a safety risk. Coming up, we're going to tell you which models are affected and what prompted the recall. And coming up tonight on News 6 at 6.
A new feature is being rolled out on Florida's sports betting app. It looks and feels like a slot machine, but it's not a slot machine. Instead, it's a way to bet on NASCAR races. I'll explain coming up.
And here's a live look over downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. You're watching News 6 at noon. Keep it here. We'll be right back. Some big news for those of us who drive a Toyota. The automaker is recalling more than 1 million vehicles over a backup camera issue. Federal regulators say when in reverse, the cameras could show a blank or frozen image. Now, the recall covers the Toyota Camry Hybrid, Highlander, and RAV4, along with the Subaru Solterra. The model years range from 2020 to 2023. A Toyota dealer will fix the issue with a free software update. Toyota is expected to notify owners by mail in mid-December. Well, check out our all-new primetime lineup on News 6 tonight. Matt and Ginger have a new take on the day's news. On News 6 tonight, that's at 9 o'clock. Go in-depth as we track the tropics and answer your weather-related questions with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas at 9:30, and then watch the late news an hour earlier. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus. Download our streaming app for free. Search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. 'Tis the season for sights like this. One of our viewers got this video, and that is a black bear right there running through a neighborhood in Sanford. This happened at Wayside Park Apartments. Pretty big one at that. That's near Lake Monroe. Now, during the fall, of course, those bears get a little bit more active. They're searching for food, and that means they could be coming to a neighborhood near you anytime. So keep that in mind. They like the cooler air, too.
Yes, we're seeing a lot of it. They're preparing for their nap, for
They
their
are.
long nap.
As am I. Right after this newscast. What can I expect for my napping weather?
Me too. Good napping weather for us.
Yeah?
Let's go ahead and take a look at the next 7 days. I didn't mean to leave this up, but I'm so glad I did. Look at these.
I love that they're twins.
Blizzard and Biscuit. I know. I don't know if it's fraternal or identical, but I love them. So 81 for your high today. We're squeezing out a few isolated showers. Rain chances today only around 10%. 65 overnight tonight. But look at the swing of these temperatures. So we're talking about mid-80s this weekend. Warmer than normal, then a strong front comes through Sunday into Monday. We wake up in the 30s and 40s on Tuesday.
Mercy. All right. Thank you, Julie. Thank you for joining us. Switch over to the News 6 Plus streaming app or click Orlando.com to watch News 6 Extra. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you.